KLM 677, are you ready now?
KLM 677, we are ready.
Roger. Ground Avion Bravo, now 1 center, clear to land. 1 center degrees, 8 knots, just 1 3.
Clear to land, 1 center, Avia 1 Bravo.
Just waiting for live weather to update. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Incoming. Compressor on.
Roger, 503, limit 1507, 180, please, for takeoff.
180, please, for takeoff, Avia 5803. KLM 103, runway 7, please, for takeoff, the wind 216, got to over right. Clear for takeoff, runway 24, over right, KLM 103. KLM 25, pilot 215, got 1 runway 247, please to take over right. Clear to take over runway 24, KLM 25, Papa, please go right. Hello, Jersey 49 Bravo, first time I 475. Jersey 49 Bravo, line up away, runway 24, shut up.
Runway 24, get a 496 down.
Jersey 4, line up Bravo, runway 24, shut up 5, break up with 1 line to the 14, Jersey 21.
Traffic take off 24, touchdown, Jersey 496 down.
Italia 109, and how does it look?
We are here, Italia 109.
What's your line up for right to the 477?
Otherwise, 477, Italia 109.
Italia 109, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 2014, clear for 21.
Perfect takeoff, 2 Italia, I want to know.
Please, Sherman. Please, Sherman. EGFD Llandbehr, runway 24, Sierra 6, clear for takeoff, wind 20016. Llandbehr, stop the climb, 3000. Stop climb, 3000.
Llandbehr, 38, Sierra 6, ready.
Motion 38, Sierra, sure?
How shot?
Kenneman 633, runway 24, Sierra 7, takeoff, wind 20016, runway 24, clear for takeoff, Caleb 1633. The 43, Roger, behind Eurowings, line up away, runway 24, Sierra 7 behind.
Behind the Eurowings, line up runway 24 behind the 9874.
Eurowings 7 uit de Alfa, wind 20017, clear for 22, runway 24, Sierra 7, takeoff.
Hi, good morning, takeoff, 007 on the Alpha.
Sierra behind British Airways, running to the left, line runway 24, Sierra 6 behind.
TrueEarth lining up runway 24, Sierra 6 behind the 7.
Ja, hello, this is 1 Tango, runway Sierra 5. British 1 at the Tango, Roger, behind the horse from the line runway 24, Sierra 5 behind.
Behind the Austrian Fokker, line up and wait 05 to walk behind, Jersey 1 and up.
Rotterdam 5 1 Bravo, line up for the left Echo 5.
Line up 180 Echo 5, Northbound 541 Bravo.
Rotterdam 6 Yankee, RS20, center 016.
Hello, Tower 360 Yankee, you want to wind 21017.
6 Yankee.
Yeah, easy nice making, proceeding about to UK to Nederland, 187 to wind 216, just good. Rotterdam 5 1 Bravo, 1 left from Echo 5, clear to Nederland.
Yes, Taylor, Northbound 541 Bravo.
Hello, Everest 961, line up away, 1 is left. Tower 360 Yankee, 1 in center, clear to land.
Center 1 in center, 6 Yankee.
Emirates 961, 1 is left, clear for takeoff, wind 21016, just 20. Oh.
Tower, center for Port Road, radar service island, 8.5 final, 1 in center.
Rudder surface, number 3, wind 21016, just 20.
Rudder, get a center for Port.
Daarom, please Yankee, please expedite this one to the water. Traffic close behind you.
Extending left out of 6 Yankee.
Kill 904, 1 in center, clear to land. The wind 21016, just 20.
Trevor, clear to land, 904. Targeting 164, establishing center.
Hello, Killer 164, number 3, the wind is 216, just 20.
Something Roger, again 1614.
Right left from Echo 4, good clear to take off, wind 21013, clear to land.
Good take off, Leale Ryan, take forward,
And half Echo 4, 1 center.
Clear net engine, ik helemaal 614.
Can we 70 unit 1 center?
1 center, green to land, can 70 Julian.
Sorry, just having a bite to eat.
No worries, man. No worries at all.
I'm still here.
Cool. Just flying part of the Mach Loop, which is supposed to be done in a jet. And I might have to actually go back and land and pick one up. Oh, you were talking about you didn't have enough.
Oh, nice.
So you didn't have enough memory for on your computer. What are you running with?
I've only got about 12 gig.
Is it DDR3 and what speed?
Windows 7.
Oh, wow. So you're looking to upgrade, I should think.
Yes, DDR3 extra RAM.
Do you know what megahertz speed your RAM is? Whoa. That's annoying. I've dropped my VR.
I'm not sure.
Oh, hang on a sec. Ah. Gotcha. I've got a spare stick or two of DDR3. I think it's 1300, so it's only slow. But if you drop me a PM at 1 gig too many at pm.me, that's the number 1, and then the word geek, and number 2, and the word many, and then at pm papa. Oh, what's that? Forgotten. pm.me, as in private message.me. I should be able to send some out to you, mate. Coming up on the hilariously Welsh name McCuntleth. Always gets a smile.
Okay, tell me again.
Okay, hang on. I don't want to write it in here particularly, but it's alright, it's no problem. Number 1, and the word geek. Number 2, and the word many. And then at pm.me, so that's 1 gig too many at pm.me. That's my private message address.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man. Should be able to send 16 gigs your way.
Calum 1051, are you ready? In about a minute or so. Calum 1051.
Look at this beautiful landscape. Wales is, this is Snowdonia. It is so wild.
Kind chap, cheers.
That's alright mate, it's just sitting on a shelf, won't be used. I've got 32 gigs in this machine and when I upgrade it will be DDR4, so you know, you're welcome. Look at that. That just looks great. How can an overcast day look so good?
Good on ya.
No worries. Chuck me an email and we'll begin the process. So what I'm doing is flying back down to the coast. I'm going to turn north and get back to Llandbehr, which is the RAF landing strip out there.
Okie dokie, cheers.
Okie dokie. Clearly my interpreter doesn't know how to say okie dokie. Right, I think we can...
Yeah, I know she's weird.
I think that's where we're headed. So let's turn north over the hills. Sparkling water down there. Sun coming from somewhere. Under that cloud by the look of it. That's actually quite beautiful. Hurrah. Always rains in Wales. That's what they say. I had a nice holiday in Wales actually. No rain when I went. Also had a moment on a dual carriageway where I lost
The main
both my
computer
brakes.
I have is being initiated into the new sim. Trophy, congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
That's all me and you, Thunderhawk. Thank you, mate.
Ha ha.
Yeah, I lost both my brakes in the car
Smooth.
on a
Ella.
in the car. Just hit the brakes and all the brake fluid peed out through the bleed
They
valve.
say Welsh is what an Englishman sounds like when he's drowning in mud.
No, don't say that near any Welsh people that I know. I mean, you're sort of right. I think they'd be the first to admit it's a fairly guttural language.
He he he.
That's good. I'm going to remember that. Seeing as we've just gone through Machloop and we're now getting to Llandbehr, I guess you're right. Okay, need to turn north. Just beyond the next inlet is where we're headed. Let's not crash. I think I might have come quite close to hitting the deck there.
Sounds like a footballer clearing his nose.
Yes, it does. Machloop. Llandbehr. Like I don't know how to pronounce that really long Welsh name though that ends in goch. The longest place name in the world, I guess. Where are we? So just over this ridge we should
Bless
be
you.
on approach.
Here's a hanky.
Cheers. Glad I'm not sitting in front of the monitor, I would have covered it in phlegm just then. Right then, let's get back to this. Now in the process of picking up my right VR controller, I moved the chair, which has moved back, and now I've only got tiptoes on the rudder pedals. I can still go there. But braking, yeah, just about toe brake. Just in a very laid-back aviation position. Where are we? Seems to be taking longer to get home than it did to get there. Never mind. Helps if you point in the right direction, I suppose. There we are. I don't know how to switch this GNS 430 into that little map, that little radar that it has. I'll admit I don't use the GNS 430 much. In the TBM I use the X1000 system. But maybe I've got to go back to basics with that. Any ideas, you two? I don't think we need these closed.
I didn't know it had a radar view.
Yeah, I saw it on a picture the other day. Maybe it's just particular to that model aeroplane that I was looking at, but a little radar ring came up. I'm going to have to look at that. You could well be right. Now then, map. There we are. Still far to go. As far as I remember, it's there. Let's have a look. Oop. Yeah. There it is on that little spit of land.
TBM900 is pretty expensive. Is it worth it?
It's completely worth it, Ashton. I haven't looked back since buying that aircraft. It's as much a love as this one's becoming. Honestly, you have to mess around a bit and read a little bit to get the startup procedure sorted, but once you've got it, it's cool. You can easily set the engine on fire otherwise, which I did many times when I first had it, but obviously you've got infinite chances to sort out your technique. Just love the TBM, haven't got a bad thing to say about it. Stick the compressor on. Where's the pitot heat on here? Have I got that on? That's ventilation. I think that there turns the ventilation to the screen in case you get icing issues. Primer. There's 2 throttles, one for each side.
Managed to do that with the Eclipse 550. Apparently firewalling the throttle for an extended period isn't a good idea. Our man go thanks for the entertainment. When are you on again?
You're welcome, Thunderhawk. Could be on later tonight actually, probably about 9-10 PM GMT. But great to see you. Drop me that message, we'll get that memory sorted out for your machine. Yes, Ashton.
Okay, catch you then.
Yeah, catch you later, mate. Take it easy. Yeah, Ashton, you're right.
And you man, cheers, dude.
Hey, dude. So, banging the throttle up till it hits the red and keeping it there is it's definitely not a good thing to do. But it is fun. Right, let's see. Now, what do I want? The map. Let's get the map up. Okay, it's always further than you think. You see a little bit of wind coming in now. I've got active sky in the background. And there's a little bit of turbulence as I drop below 3,000 feet. Not too bad though, that's pretty steady now.
Which plane is this?
It's the new freeware Zlin Z-142. You've just got to pick it up, it's fantastic. There we go. Oh, that's a nice little view. There she is. Looks like I've got the repaint kit on at the moment. There's the livery. Didn't know that. Normally running Canadian so that you've got English labels. Right, let's just get that map again. Get zoomed in. So, close that map. Should be in visuals now. There she is. Bit of side slip, opposite rudder to aileron, lose some altitude. There we go, and let's just line up. Okay. First stage of flaps. A little bit high. It's gonna not engage flaps until we've come in a bit. There we go, now first stage of flaps. It's a little bit bobbly. I think I'm just going to keep it to one stage of flaps. There's a crosswind from the east. Okay. Left rudder, and right. Need it. A little bit off the centre line, but nice. Beautiful. You want to have a look at the TBM, Ashton?
Yes, please. That would be great.
Cool. Right then. Now that was fun. That was a nice flight. Let's switch her off. Nice. On this aircraft, let me just show you something. Have a little look in the engine. You get a repair centre out. It lays out these cones. You can look in the other side as well. So you can see the old nose wheel. Nice bit of kit, this aircraft. There's even a battery recharge here. Just click that. And it tells you this battery is nice and full. Let's stick that back in. Okay, so it's going to take a moment to load, but if you stick with me, let's get the TBM out. Where is she? There we go. And where am I? I'm still at Llandbehr. And start new flight. So TBM's a bit more of a, what's the word, systems heavy aircraft. So we'll see what frames are doing. Hopefully my PC will cope with it. But the first thing you've got to know about it is that there's a definite order to the startup procedure, just like a lot of the more complex aircraft. And I don't use a checklist now, but there is a checklist built in. So that you can go through it in order, but there's a part of it where you've got to know how to do it because it needs to be done quickly. So you can't be messing about looking at the checklist. You just got to go through it. And but yeah, I watched a few videos online. I read the instructions that come with it, and you get there in the end. Still loading TBM900. Let me just have a look at something while I'm waiting.
Hi.
Hi, Emil12345. I guess there were 12,344 people before you, but great name, man. How are you? How are you today? We're just about to load the TBM900 up. Ashton wants to have a look at startup procedure, so hope I get it right. Here it comes. Alright then, so bear with, just loading in. Don't crash on me now. Ah, phew. Okay, so let's straighten up. So here we are in the TBM900, and the first thing is to make sure that all this is in the correct position before we start. So it said a minute ago that my controller is running low, so hopefully it'll last. The first thing to do is obviously close the door, so I just clicked on the bottom there, then click to close. And then we put the crash bar up and switch to battery. You can have it on GPU as well. I am going to just turn off that chatter. Let me do that. Right, so the systems are starting up, and this requires you to click check. I have got Navigraph running in the background, so I've updated to the latest AirRack. Let's just turn off, oops, let's turn off the chatter for the minute. Control panel open, and we'll just click that off for the moment. There we are. Right, that's just normal slotting. Okay, so on here, this is the G1000 starting up. You can see I've got the latest AirRack cycle in. Expires on the 26th, and you just press go on that. These are just
Where
aligning.
are we flying to?
I don't know where we're flying to, Emil. We're just going to have a little fly around. I'm actually in Snowdonia at the minute.
System test. Okay.
I'm in Snowdonia at the minute, so we could go to the round to the Mach Loop, which is where you normally take fighters. But it's very beautiful all around here. So if we just have a fly over those hills, you know, that can be a nice thing. So we're all in. Let's have a look here. Normal, electrical, fuel. Right, one of the things that this has is a payload editor. So go in the TBM900 menu, get to the payload manager, and we'll take the chocks off and the red flag items. You see there's a little red flag off the end of that aileron, the end of that wing, and now it's gone. So we'll do that with all the items. You can have one on the front, see that's got that there. Let's get rid of it now. Okay, so here we go. We need to get the fuel selector to main, the auxiliary boost pump on, and now we hit the starter for 2 seconds. So 1, 2, and release, and I hit the timer. And what we're looking for here, I'll just make sure I've got the brakes on. What we're looking for here is that the NG has come up, which it has. So we get to the first stage. Now we're looking for 30 on there within 30 seconds. So you can see my timer here.
Have you ever flown the 737 on X-Plane 11?
Yes, I've just flown Zebo, but I don't practice it, so I don't know the startup very well. 30 and 30 is achieved, so now we bring that up 2 notches, and we're looking for this to pass 50. Looking for the ITT to drop back down below 850, which it has. Just make sure my throttle's in place. That's good, and as soon as the prop RPM passes this area, we can now hit main generator. We can bring the auxiliary pump to auto, fuel selector to main, and turn the electrics on, get bleed air on, air conditioning on, inertial separator, and the pitot and stall heaters on. So the inertial separator takes a while. It's a little panel within the engine that directs the airflow so that if any grit or pebbles from the runway go in it, they don't go in the engine, they just shoot out below the engine.
Yes, the Zybo is the best aircraft in my opinion for X-Plane 11.
I think it's the best jet. I'd say the TBM's the best general aviation aircraft. Right, so you remember I turned the electrics on up here, and we're now going to set flaps to take off. That's telling me the inertial separator is finally in place. That little panel within the engine is in place. And we're all good on the markers there. So I'm actually just going to release those brakes. Now, there's the special thing with the throttle here. You've actually got reverse and taxi range and the power range, and I've programmed a little button on the front of my X55 throttle to take it into the taxi range. There we are. And the parking brake is on, so we can release that. There we go. And off we go. So I'm actually going to, I think, just take off on the runway to the right here.
Do you have any scenery mods, for example Vivid Sky or OrbX?
This is OrbX, TrueEarth North, TrueEarth UK North. So it's the OrbX TrueEarth for Scotland, and I'm running X-Vision with the Leale Ryan Real Life 3 preset. Okay, let's just line up with that center line a little bit, and then off we go. Clicked back up into the power range, watching the power so not to over torque it at the top of that panel in the middle. There we are. And
any
rotate.
airport mods or not?
Not on this airport, but yeah, I've got Bristol, all sorts. Okay, gear up, and inertial separator off. Now when you turn the inertial separator off, you get about 20 points of torque coming back into the engine, so you have to adjust for
Anything worth
that.
seeing over Skye? My favourite part of
there we go.
Scotland.
Skye is beautiful.
Newcastle Airport by any chance?
Sadly, I haven't got Newcastle downloaded. I've got just the X-Plane default for that one. And yeah, I bet Skye is stunning. But have you seen this area? Because it's really rather beautiful. I'm going to fly into it. See what you think. Just watching that. Can you see that's going? I'm pointing. Can you see that's going up here? And that happens when you take the inertial separator off again. And just like before, about where are we? About 2,500 feet. There's a sort of layer of turbulent air here. Let's see if we can get above that a little bit. I don't want to lose sight of the ground too much. There's the airport we just came from.
Those views are amazing.
Thank you, man. They are beautiful around here.
What's the range on the TBM?
Oh, do you know, I don't know that. I only know it is regarded as the best general aviation aircraft you can get prior to going jet. In terms of, I think it's got, is it 40,000? No, it can't be 40,000. I think it's 25,000 feet height, altitude max. This is very, very bumpy and bobbly. Oh, let's take the flaps up. There they go. Might just change the weather to something sunnier because you want to see this scenery. Hang on a sec. Let's pause that and get to my active sky. Now then, let's go June last year and hope for the best. Actually, maybe August the 2nd. I have no idea if that's going to work.
Looks like 31,000 feet for service ceiling.
Nice. That's not bad, is it, for a single turboprop? All right. That's nice. There we go. Just need to trim this up. It's wanting to climb. Trim wheels here. What do you think of the TBM Thunderhawk? Should we get above the clouds? Let's open this thing up. We're only at 50 at the moment. Let's let her climb.
Looks like fun. Now I know my next purchase.
I would say everybody with X-Plane should purchase the TBM. I mean, 60 quid, 60 smackers, it's a lot, but she gives you a lot. I've programmed so many little flights into this as well, using Navigraph, and flown so many little trips, it's absolutely wonderful. Never gets old. Climbs like an absolute dream as well. Just absolutely rakes it through the sky, this plane does. I like those patches of light down there, looks nice. The autopilot's very, very capable in this aircraft. You can program it to follow the VNav and stick it in bank mode. It does this absolutely fantastic sort of gentle following of the route rather than sudden changes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of any of the default aircraft for X-Plane 11. The mods I have are 737 Zybo, flight factor 757, 747 to 8 Intercontinental, 777, flight factor a 320. I don't really have any general aviation mods, only the default Cessna and thing like that.
Those are some nice nice aircraft that you got there. I mean, we've got to give props to Zibo. It really is quite something for a free aircraft. It's just changed X-Plane completely. I would say have a look at the Ryan Navion. That's November Alpha Victor Indigo Oscar November Navion. That's a great general aviation thing. It's like an old vintage aircraft. And have a look at the aircraft that I was flying with Thunderhawk just a minute ago, the Zlin.
Yes, I also have better pushback mod and mods for the Avitab.
Yeah, Avitab's cool. Yeah, have a look at the Zlin Z-142 that came out a couple of days ago. That's freeware. Very, very nice bit of kit as well. Really pleased with these clouds. This is a cross between Leale Ryan's X-Vision preset, Real Life 3, and Ultra Weather XP's clouds.
I've got a few
2.
GA and business jets. Looking forward to the new Falcon X8. I'll have a look at that at some point.
Falcon X8 sounds good. And we'll see whether the Vulcan update makes any difference. I personally expect, they say it will be ready and they're in private beta and blah. They've been doing loads of work on it, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they hold on to it until MS 2020, so that as soon as Microsoft launches FS 2020, they'll put their Vulcan update out there to attract people back and take the fire off it. That's what I'd do anyway. Oh, look at that, that's stunning. Absolutely stunning down there.
Ben was saying Vulcan beta might be out this week. How does the TBM aircraft handle in bad weather?
Yeah, very well. I'll tell you what, it's got, I would say, one of the best implementations of LibRain. I'll just drop her down a bit. Okay, so I'll show you the autopilot. Let's put the autopilot on heading mode. And we will sync the heading. It's the way we're going now. You can see that little sync reticle there, the blue one. So it's going to keep that. And we're going to just, it's not on altitude mode yet, we're just going to tell it to dip and be in a controlled descent. It's got a little runner here. There it is. Oh, see the down up. And I think one more of those. There we go. So what I'll do is put some precipitation on for you in a moment.
I bet you can butter some landings in this baby. Grinning face.
You can butter some landings in this. It's also... actually, no, it lands like a dream. It's a fantastic aircraft, it really is. I'm sure I can still mess it up, is what I was going to say. Let's just drop the throttle back a little bit, see if we sink a bit faster. And there's the altitude selector. I think we'll select 4,000 feet. There we go. So when we get to within 1,000 feet of our target altitude, the altitude selector will ping. It'll switch to out mode and hold. That's where the passengers go.
Think there is a new SR22 coming out soon too. That's on my shopping list.
I did not know that.
This would be great aircraft for if you want to go gore a short flight or something. I might even have to get it for myself.
The TBM. It is awesome. Let's see where we are on the map. Got a little map down here. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's bring it up to... Okay, so let's find where we are. Zoom out. So that's where we started. And this, we're coming down to here, is the Mach Loop that the fly jets round. That loop there. That loop there. I know that very well. Right, we're 6,500 feet.
I've seen some fun photos of guys flying the C-130S around the Mach Loop.
Yeah, that'd be a challenge. I usually fly the BAE Hawk trainer by Just Flight, and the Eurofighter, which is a free model.
I think it will be hard for me to switch from X-Plane 11 to the new FSX.
Yeah, I think we'll all... right, we're over the Mach Loop now. Let's see if we can drop down into it. So I need to go right.
Collimator F-18 is also good.
Yeah, I've tried the F-35. I wasn't happy with that. But I haven't tried the F-22 Raptor. Let's just take that off. There we go. Just trying to orientate myself. That's saying I'm dropping more than...
Sync rate.
Yeah,
Sync rate.
Okay, don't worry. That's saying I'm dropping more than 1,000 below my target altitude.
https://thedonphotography.pixasa.com/aviation/. How long did it take you to get the hang of the TBM?
Not long at all. And that's not to do with being particularly good or anything like that. It's just simply a lovely aircraft, and the
Loads of good
documentation's good.
photos of the Mach Loop there.
Thank you, Ashton. Fantastic. I'll have a look at that later. Ashton KJ, cheers, man. So I'm going to drop down. Yeah,
Sync rate.
ignore her. I'm going to
Sync
drop
rate.
down into this little valley.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Terrain ahead.
Terrain ahead. I love the way she says that. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Terrain ahead.
It's like, watch the fuck
Terrain
out.
ahead.
Oh, sorry, language. Right.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
How do you switch the terrain
Terrain
warning off?
ahead.
If anyone can tell
Terrain
me, I'll be
ahead.
very happy.
Terrain ahead. Terrain
Let's give it
ahead.
some speed.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
I know.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Oh, that's doing my head in.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
And she's quiet. See if we can find the closest airstrip to land at. Oops, range increase, thank you. If we just fly this way, we should get to, what's that called? EGBS. Let's give it a bit more welly.
I wonder what Steve-01 Kenivo would think of this. If you don't know who he is, he's an American pilot / YouTuber who flies the TBM900, sometimes he flies the 900 as well, so it would be great to have his opinion.
It would. Well, it might interest you to know that one of the liveries for the TBM900 is the Stevio one. I'll just show you, hang on. There you go, Stevio. I'm not going to change it though, because I might mess up what we're doing. Yeah, he's a great guy. And the TBM930 with its auto throttle, so you can't overtorque the engine as easily, would be very nice. So I think we need to just actually head this way a little bit.
I can't wait until Boeing put the MAX plane back into service.
Do you think they will? Or a little bit of loading, like, sorry guys, lost about 20 seconds. Yeah, that MAX has been under all sorts of investigation,
I think it has
hasn't
the potential to be a great aircraft.
Just don't give the job of writing the software to guys that aren't paid enough, is what I think about that. Did you see the investigation found that even after the crashes they'd shipped out the job of rewriting the software to third-party software developers who still didn't do a great job. Right, that should be it for the loading lag. Sorry about that, guys. Oh no, there's a bit more. So what we're going to do is get over this range and then drop down really quickly. So I need to go over the top of this peak, kind of as low as I can without putting anyone at risk. Need to line up a little bit. If we just fly this heading and then turn towards that runway.
Yes, Boeing did mess up Alert and they sure did F up, but hopefully they clean up their mess, lol.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Start making the turn to final.
500.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
500.
Sync rate.
Just doing
Sync
a little
rate.
less to lose some speed
Sync rate.
and some altitude. Interesting, you see that mesh problem down there? Don't usually see mesh problems with OrbX. Now, where is she? I think she's over that ridge beyond, actually. 147. We may have to go over there and then turn back to land. If we go past the airfield and turn back into it. Yeah, definitely over the ridge. Love to know what the approach
The
route
main
is.
reason is because they didn't want Airbus to beat them to a better aircraft. In my opinion, even though Boeing say safety is their number one priority, I'll always believe that money is their number one priority and safety is second.
Yep, I think you're right. I certainly won't be using it until it's all ironed out. I mean, how could you trust it, you know? Right. Now then. Is that the airfield down there? That strip between the trees? No, that's not, because it's not on the right heading.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
I know.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Am I trying to land at a grass strip? Or is... I think that's it out there. I've just seen the lights. Let's just lower the range. Maybe not. Isn't spotting runways a nightmare?
The 777X
That looks like
is
it.
their only chance to build up a good reputation and make back their money.
Yes. Gear. Looks like I'm landing over trees. This is not ideal. First stage of flaps.
Thought the TBM was pretty good for short field landings.
500.
Second stage of flaps. I want to come in at about 90.
So if they mess up the 777X project, they pretty much fucked.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Pull up. Pull up. Pull
Now what it
up.
has got is
Pull up.
thrust reversers.
Sync rate.
Very high approach.
Airspeed.
Yes, the approach was way too high. I didn't take any notice of those pappies out there, unfortunately. However, I did make it down. And that's thanks to the fact that as soon as you hit the deck, you can click those thrust reversers in. And let's just get this back. Right then guys, that's me done for the day.
Thanks. Now I have to get this plane.
Go for it.
My
man.
wallet is less thankful.
It is a beast. And have a look at the YouTube videos about how to start up, because they actually explain it a lot clearer and more simply than the
Well, that
instructions.
was a butter, but the way you slid to the right was a bit extreme. LMAO.
Yeah, a lot of it was extreme, mate. Any landing's a good landing. And good night. Let's just reverse that a little bit. There we go. Okay.
Bye, mate.
Take it easy, chaps. And thank you for the... let's just turn her off. There you go.
Cheers. Thanks for the flights.
No problems. No problem. You guys are very welcome.
May I
Stick that
ask?
in. Yeah, go for it. Listen to this. You can hear the radiators clicking away, the metal expansion.
What is it like flying with a VR headset?
Oh, once you go VR, you don't go back. That's the top and bottom of it. I wouldn't be playing this game in 2D. And I've only got a Rift CV1, so it's only like first gen, but absolutely love it. It is immersive, and don't let anyone tell you anything else. There's a few tweaks you need to do, which I've...
It feels weird at first.
Yeah, it can do. But just the sense of sitting in a cockpit is worth every penny. If you can pick
Your
up a
brain
Rift,
believes that you really are moving.
then that's good. I think as long as you feel like you've got control, the movement's okay. It's when you feel like something's moving without your control. So turbulence can sometimes provide a challenge to people, but I guess I'm used to VR now. Right then. Nice one, guys. I'll end the stream here. Thank you very, very much for accompanying me on that. That's great. See you soon.